NHL Nightly with your host, the sports, a.k.a. Peter Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Pearlo, Wisdom, and Rico in Barrie. Hey, everybody. Welcome to NHL Nightly. I am Jeremiah Maxwell, a.k.a. the Sports Beard. With me, as always, Pearlo, Wisdom, and Rico in Barrie. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Okay. Pearlo's getting situated.
Yeah,
some good games tonight. Before we get going into all this stuff, I just wanted to thank the last few people that subscribed: Chris G, John Witz, S Smith 87, Doug, Mark Alred, Chatty Cartier, Nick, Not Lord Farquad, and John Green. You guys have all subscribed in the last few months here. Really appreciate it. Thanks for listening and watching the show. Leave a like, subscribe. We are trying to grow. We're trying to get there. Trying to get to the 1,000 mark so we can monetize and, Lucy. Hey, Lucy, how's it going? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're not empty nesting too much about the kids being in college. Your Stars look good. You know who else looks good in the West? The Colorado Avalanche, and they made a big trade. Oh, hey, we got Mike here too. Let's get Mike in. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, I wasn't expecting you this early, man. You said you were going to be late, but you're pretty much on time.
Shocked too.
Yeah. 30 seconds left in the Calgary Nashville game. It's 4-3 Calgary, and looks like 3.3 seconds left. Icing 4-3. That game is all but over, I think. Got a good one in Edmonton. Own goal though by Victor Hedman has made that game 2-1 in favor of the Oilers. Also, McKinnon, what we were talking about at Avalanche, McKinnon had a 5-point night tonight against Pittsburgh. I watched a little bit of that game, and it was 3-2. Pittsburgh had climbed back in after being down 3-0, and then the Avalanche just went like that. It's like nuts. Yeah, they're good again. You got to watch out for them. So, before I jump into Shattenkirk's retirement and NHL Board of Governors, let's just go ahead and talk about the Blackwood-Georgiev trade. What did you guys think? Just go ahead, Rico. Why don't you kick it off?
Yeah, it's kind of funny, man. Colorado just all of a sudden overhauled their old goaltending situation there by getting rid of Andinen and Georgiev, and you bring in some wood to protect the Avalanche over there. So you got a lot of wood on that team right now. But the Georgiev was overplayed, man. They burnt the guy out. He played over 120 something games in the last 2 years. Like this, they ran this guy into the ground. So I mean, send him to San Jose, get Blackwood. Blackwood's used to eating a lot of rubber down there. He hasn't played a whole lot because he's been injured. So if the guy can stay healthy, he's a good goalie. He's a Thunder Bay boy. He's an ex-Barrie Colt. So I like the move, man. Between him and Wedgwood, I like the tandem there. They definitely upgraded the goaltending situation as long as Blackwood could stay healthy. I like it. But yeah, that's a lot of games for Georgiev, man, in the last 2 years. So
no. I don't disagree. They overhauled their whole goalie platoon situation, did they not? So, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? I got KP. He's just chilling out. He's just chilling. I think he wanted to come on or something.
I just want to see the Netflix documentary on Val Nichushkin once he's retired.
By the way, dude, I was just noting what's he been back a week? He has 7 goals.
I know, that's what I mean. Like, what's going on? They put him in a hyperbaric chamber or something, and then just
Rantanen had a hat trick tonight. Nathan McKinnon had 5 points. Don't look now, but the Colorado Avalanche might be the team to beat. My friend Kevin Olenek from Shifts and Pucks called at the beginning of the year. He thought Colorado, and I was worried about their goaltending, but when you go out and you get Mackenzie Blackwood, who had one of the higher save percentages on a team where he wasn't getting a lot of good defense in San Jose. He's going to get better defense. And Colorado, without Blackwood, shut out the Devils, 4-0 this weekend. So they've had some impressive wins. I'm not saying that beating the Devils is impressive because I'm not sure what to make of the Devils right now, but Colorado needed to overhaul their goaltending situation. They probably need to make another, but you know what? They're getting secondary scoring, which is a lot more than you can say for Toronto and some other teams. So that are contending teams. So
a lot of leadership on that team from the front office all the way down. I mean, to be able to get Sam Girard back to playing and he's been away from the game for a while, Val Nikushin, like they've had a lot of stuff going on with that team with the Landeskog injury, and man, the odds were up against them, and a lot of people counted them out, and now they're just firing again, and Colorado's back. So it's always better when Colorado's playing well. So it's good to see.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it comes down to Kovalenko there. There was a lot of teams that were on him. I think San Jose was one of them, and he chose Colorado, and now he ends up getting traded to San Jose. So he's got a lot of potential, that guy. He's got a lot of potential. So if he could be like a good 40, 50 point guy there, and they get a second round pick on top of it, it's not a bad deal for a guy that's going to be a unrestricted free agent. I just wonder if they could have got more if they would have waited to the deadline. Like could have got that first that somebody was really desperate for. But
you're talking about San Jose. Well, hold on a second though. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I will say this: Mike Greer got Mackenzie Blackwood for a 6th round pick.
Yeah,
he turned that into a player in Kovalenko and a 1st and a 5th. Or a 3rd,
second,
right?
And a 5th. Second, yeah. I think they got a second round pick.
Thought it was a 3rd.
Second in 2006. It's like a long time away from
2026, 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Where Colorado.
Still, it's a good return when you only.
And you got a player in Kovalenko. Ironically, his dad traded 20 years earlier by the Colorado Avalanche to get Patrick Waugh.
On the same day?
I don't know if it was the same day, but it was.
No, I don't think it was on the same day.
It was like in the same,
same team, yeah.
Mike, before we move on, did you have anything to say about Blackwood or the Colorado Avalanche?
I thought Georgiev, we said it earlier, was overplayed. I actually liked Noon better. I thought they lost that trade, but I kind of thought when they traded him that Georgiev was, on a tight leash here before he was getting shipped.
Yeah, I thought the Wedgwood for Annunen trade was more about just getting a solidified backup in the NHL that's played a lot of good games. Wedgwood was really solid for the Stars and had played pretty well for hey Hugh, what's up, man? Had played pretty well for Nashville this year considering how bad Nashville is. So I just think it was more about that. And then I think Trotz gets a guy in Annunen and Eustace Annunen that's young. They, because they did trade Askarov. That's the thing about San Jose. They didn't need Blackwood. They weren't going to keep him anyway. So yeah, Hugh, I remember when the Stars were in Minnesota too, man. We're old on this podcast. Most of us remember Mike Modano and all that stuff. So, Dino Cicerelli. Okay, let's move on. Kevin Shattenkirk, I want to hear from you on this, Mike. He decides to retire. No one gave him a shot this year. He won the national championship with BU in 2009. Was a Stanley Cup champion with Tampa Bay. Played a lot of years in the NHL. Basil McRae, yep, that's a good one. What are your thoughts, Mike, on Shattenkirk? And I think he gets in the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a little surprised no one took a flyer on him. I feel like there's a lot of teams that could use that third pair guy. I think he's an improvement on a lot. Certainly, not what he used to be, but I mean, you play 14, 15 years, that happens. I'm just shocked no one took a chance on him this year. I don't think you should have announced retirement just yet. I think you should have held out a little longer. I think someone grabs him towards the end of the year. But U.S. Hall of Fame, yes. NHL Hall of Fame, doubtful. But I liked him as a player. I was happy the year and a half he gave the Bees at the end. I think he was a good player. I think someone should take him.
He was 48 games short of 1,000 games played, 484 career points, 103 career goals, 381. Like I said, won a championship in college and in the pros. So,
shocked no one took a flyer on him.
Yeah, had 91 career playoff games, had 48 points at 91 career playoff games, averaged 20 minutes of ice time, 3 game winners in the playoffs. Obviously, was a part of the Tampa Bay Lightning that won the Stanley Cup in 2019, 2020. He rode with the Caps. We had the Caps out of him in 2016, 2017. So, didn't do terrible in the playoffs, 13 games. They really good on the power play, good puck mover. So, anybody else want to talk about Kevin Shattenkirk before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, no, solid player. You always recognize him there on the right shot because he was either playing the power play, playing top minutes. I mean, Colorado drafted him pretty high. I think they moved off of him pretty quick once he made it to the NHL, moving to St. Louis. But I mean, the guy's scored a Stanley Cup overtime winning goal. He's played in the All-Star games. He's represented his country in the Olympics. He's won a Stanley Cup. I mean, it's a pretty damn good career in my book. So, yeah. It's sad to see it end. But, yeah, like Mike said, I'd love to see somebody take a flyer on him. But obviously,
he got traded in his first season in Colorado.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
And that year he had 9 goals and 31 assists. He had a pretty decent game. He actually played really good for the Blues. I thought some of his best years were with the Blues. And then he was traded from the Blues to the Caps, and then he signed with the Rangers in the offseason, and then they moved off from him. I think they actually bought him out. I want to say they might have bought his deal out. I want to say might have had a deal buyout, but anyway, yeah.
No, that was the Cup.
Sorry, who bought his deal out?
I think the Rangers did back in 2017, 2018, 2019. Remember, they were kind of going to that rebuild. They had decided to kind of rebuild at that point. So, anyway,
I remember he got traded at the deadline by St. Louis, and St. Louis already was in a playoff spot, or right close to a playoff spot. And he got traded
to the Caps in 2016, 2017. He's traded several times, obviously.
Yeah.
And then last year he played with the Bruins. He played 61 games, had 6 goals, 18 assists, 24 points.
I thought he was good for us. Wish we kept him.
Yeah, solid. Obviously the Blues had different. You got to be kidding me with this.
The Oilers were looking at him. I don't know. Maybe the Oilers were looking at him. Maybe he wanted more than.
Oh, I think he would have taken
play for league
minimum. I think he was trying to just keep playing like Phil Kessel, but couldn't find a home. It's funny to me that guys like Phil Kessel who can pot goals can't find a home. With all the secondary scoring that's lacking in the NHL now, you can't tell me that Phil Kessel on the bottom 6 wouldn't be an impact player somewhere. I mean, obviously he's not the two-way Selke guy you want, but I mean, 15 minutes a night, you get 15, 20 goals. Okay. Before we jump on over to JT Miller and Demko coming back for the Canucks, because they're in action tonight. Now, I don't think Miller's in the lineup for them tonight, but he's skating with the Canucks again. It's 2-1 Blues. It's getting chippy. Speaking of chippy, let's talk about something that happened in Rico's neck of the woods. I'm going to put it up on the screen here because I want to get Rico's. Rico, did you see this between the Ottawa 67s and the Barrie Colts?
Yeah, man. During the teddy bear toss, they basically had a freaking line brawl.
Oh, why? Yeah. Not let me watch it in full screen.
Yeah. Look at this. Fans are tossing teddy bears on the ice. Supposed to be like a celebratory thing, and these guys are just going at it on the ice. So it's hilarious. I think that was yeah. That was hilarious. That's Canadian. If there's anything more Canadian, that's it right there.
Yeah, why is that not letting me watch that in full screen mode? That's ridiculous. Okay. Or let me blow it up at least.
What ignited this?
I was gonna ask you, Rico, did this make the news there or
I don't know, man. I don't know what started it. I just kind of watched this part of it too, but
yeah.
yeah.
Absolute. I'll retweet it for those of you that haven't seen it. So if you're just following me on X here, which we've got people, it's there. I was like, okay, the teddy bear toss. There's a scrap. That's a first. Okay, real quick, we'll just do a little score update for those of you that are joining us. Early games, the Jets ended up putting a snowman on the Bruins, winning 8-1. I'm glad to see them get back into winning ways. So is the Capes. Aren't you, Capes? You ready to get down? Okay. See you, buddy. Flames, man. They beat the Preds. The Preds are the worst team in the NHL. It's official. They're the worst team. I think they've lost 8 in a row. They're terrible. Kings. Are the Kings sneaky good this year? I don't know. Flyers beat the Blue Jackets. I actually was shocked. I thought the Blue Jackets were playing pretty good hockey. But Flyers are going to give you a good game every once in a while here. And then the Sharks had the lead in this game and ended up losing 3-2. But very rarely does the Sharks lay an egg now. I've been really impressed with what they're doing. Luke Kunin had a pair of goals. He was flying all over the place. He's a guy, too. I don't know if he's a UFA, but, boy, he's a guy I'd love to. Like, the Leafs are looking for scoring. There's a guy, gritty, tough guy, get him in the bottom.
Assistant captain there, and he's playing with Celebrini, so Kovalenko could move up and play with Celebrini. Then you trade Kunin and get something for him.
Yeah, I like what Greer's doing there. Avs dominate Pittsburgh. I thought the night of the game of the night was the Leafs Devils. The Leafs end up with 16 shots on goal and they win that game. Totally stole that game. Give Anthony Stolarz might be
that was the game of the year where the Leafs got out of there and it was like, start the car, let's get the hell out of here before we get caught. Like the Leafs had, I think, one shot after the first period. Matthews had a couple breakaways, but other than that, Stolarz just skated out of the crease after the first period and almost threw his hands in the air like, come on, boys, holy shit, this is my hometown here. I got some family watching me. Don't hang me out to dry, because it was like 15-1 in shots at one point for New Jersey. It was just unbelievable. Then Holmberg gets his first goal. Well, second goal of the year, but his first goal on an actual goaltender. His only goal of the year came as an empty netter.
And it's a shorty.
And it was a shorty, and it was like a flubber puck along the ice as well, too. So, yeah.
Who cares? Scores the same way, Rico.
Oh, yeah. No. I know, but it's so funny. That was his first goal of the year, actually scoring on a goalie. And the guy's played in top six most nights.
The Devils had 39 shots on goal. And now current games that are on, Oilers, Lightning, that's in the second intermission, so that's going into the third. I got that on my big screen in here. 2-1, McDavid and Draisaitl. I guess they credited Draisaitl with that own goal. Instead of Podkolzin or whatever they said in the game, but McDavid and Draisaitl both have goals. Gensel from Kucherov. That was like a 5-on-3, 3 Tampa Bay in. And Utah Hockey Club in the middle of the second, it's 1-0 there. They're up 1-0 on the Wild. Wild have 23 shots on goal. Utah has 6. And then the Blues are beating the Canucks. And then in Seattle, the Kraken, they've been playing some good hockey, man. 1-0 over the Florida Panthers.
They're getting outshot. They're getting outshot badly, though.
Yeah, but they're winning the game. So
same as the Wild game, they're getting out, or Utah's getting outshot 22-6.
23-6 is what I've got.
23.
Yep, live feed 23-6. I have that game up. So,
hey, did you see Pacioretty lay out Jack Hughes tonight too?
I did. Yeah, I watched that entire game.
He got out of the way a little bit of it. It looked a lot worse than it was. I think he was kind of bent back a bit.
I didn't think it was a dirty play by any stretch of the imagination. I did like on Twitter, though, how somebody said the New Jersey Devils look a lot like the Leafs did under Sheldon Keefe. No response after their best player gets hurt. And and it's like they do have Brendan Dillon. They have some guys on there that will throw the.
And he was on the ice too, Brendan Dillon, when that happened.
Yeah, I kind of was surprised that they didn't show up. But maybe they just said, you know what, it was a clean hit. Pacioretty got him. He ended up being okay.
And maybe because it was Pacioretty too, and the guy's not a natural dirty player either. But yeah, at the end of the day, it was a clean hit. And that's how it should be all the time. If it's a clean hit, you don't have to fight after a hit. If it's dirty, yeah, fight.
By the way, Utah just scored again to make it 2-0.
Oh, wow.
Dylan Gunther.
Man.
And Avi probably beat it. He's going, I need Panthers money line. They got it. Yep. Well, hold on there, Avi, because we're at intermission there. So, okay. JT Miller is skating with the Canucks. That's good news. And they get Thatcher Demko. Now, I don't know, is Demko in net tonight? I think he is.
He is. I thought he was when I saw it.
Yeah, I think he is in net, and that would vote. That does not surprise me that the Blues are up. Again, the Blues on any given day, they've proven they can beat the best teams in the NHL.
And Demko hasn't seen the action yet. He's been on the bench for the last 2 games, but playing in a real game is different. Give him 1 game to get kind of settled in a little bit, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you'd hope that if they don't play a back-to-back, he gets the next start. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was just trying to see the stats here to see. So Hofer is in net for the Blues, and arguably he's been the better goaltender this year. And yep, 7 shots against, 5 saves. Not that you want. One's a shorthanded goal. One's an even strength goal. So, again, the Blues, don't sleep on them. They're just good. Your goal scorer.
Hey, man, there's talent, then there's effort. Monty's got these guys playing with effort, and they've already got talent on that team. So,
yeah,
putting it together.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Holloway's played well. Neighbors, I don't think you've seen the best of him this year. Robert Thomas missed a bunch of time with injury. I still like Braden Shin, pretty good player.
Buchnevich, Kyrou.
Yeah, I mean, their decor. And Ryan Suter's been solid for them as a back-end pairing, which is crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got depth there too. So,
well, they got Broberg playing with Parayko, which is kind of helping his development as well too. Then they got Suter playing with Falk in the second pair, and then what's his name? The young guy from Boston that's hurt, Torrey Krug. I think he's hurt, so he's not playing.
Yeah, he hasn't. He's out the whole year.
Yeah,
he's out the whole year. So we're not going to see him at all. I think if they made the playoffs, they're not going to see him. So, okay, yeah, but Demko's back, getting JT Miller back. That'll be good. The Canucks have been kind of underwhelming. I agree with what Avi said. The Kings are sneaky. I wonder if they make a move. Maybe. But, yeah. So, as of today, your wild card standings are Florida, Toronto, Boston back in third. So, we'd have a Leafs-Boston first-round matchup if that's the way it rolls.
Rico, if that happens and you guys lose, just honestly move the franchise. Move it to anywhere.
Move it an hour outside the city even and call it something else.
I actually think that Tampa Bay is going to find their game. They're plus 22. They've played 5 less games than Boston. I don't think Boston will be in the top 3 by the end of the year. I think they'll be a wild card team if they make it. So, and right now that's the way it's shaping up. Like if you look at games played, I mean, Florida and Toronto both have 28 games played. Boston has 30. Tampa Bay has only played 25 games this year, and they have 30 points. So they're right there. I mean, if you give them 3 out of 5, they're going to be right there with Toronto.
So it'll be It'll be Toronto, Florida, Tampa in the Atlantic, and then Carolina, New Jersey, and Washington in the other division. Sorry, and then you'll have Boston and the Rangers as the wild card teams.
Well, yeah, right now, if you count right now, Philly's in that second wild card spot, and the Rangers are behind them, and the Rangers are 2-8 in their last 10. I don't know, man. I mean, I have more faith in Pittsburgh right now, the way they've been playing. Or the Blue Jackets. You know, those teams aren't out of it. So, really, Ottawa's not out of it either. But we shall see. Really, anybody in the East could make a run, but yeah,
there's something seriously wrong in Ranger land there.
Yeah, they're not playing good hockey. Larry Brooks was on Chicklets today, and he said something very glaring, I thought. He said that Trouba didn't look like, you know, with any confidence. I already felt like he looked better than any game I've seen him in this year when he played with Anaheim already against Montreal. I thought he was snapping the puck around. He looked really crisp. It was almost like he was just happy to get out of there. So maybe it's a good thing for both. I mean, he was playing a lot of top pair minutes too. So, yeah, I don't know where you guys were on that one.
Did you hear his quote today? He said something to the effect of, yeah, they could have handled it better.
Oh, I mean, that wasn't today. That was when the trade went down.
Was that right? Yeah. Okay, I saw it today. And,
well, they told him he was going to be put on waivers by 2 p.m.
Trouba's not a guy that talks in the media like that, and I can imagine that there's a lot of the players there maybe lost a little respect for the organization and stuff, caused some problems there. I don't know.
They just didn't handle it well at all. Very unprofessional from the start. Two examples of what not to do in the Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers on how they did their offseason. So, in the West, real quick, your top three are Winnipeg, Minnesota, Dallas. I don't think that changes. Vegas has been sneaky playing good hockey, 7-2-1. Los Angeles, Calgary, and right now Edmonton is tied for the second wild card with the Vancouver Canucks. So even though Edmonton's been playing some pretty good hockey, they haven't really pulled away from anybody to solidify a spot. It'd be real interesting if Edmonton has to play a Vegas or a Winnipeg in the first round. You know, those are bad matchups for that team.
The West is a blender, man. The West is a blender. You're going to get one or two first round matchups that are going to be just dynamite. Something to look forward to every year.
Yeah. I don't think Calgary stays on to that third spot in the Pacific. That's probably where you see Edmonton or Vancouver jump in. But Kings are 8-2-0 in their last 10, man. So I think they have the best record in the NHL in the last 10 games.
Who does?
Now, they surprised me this year, I have to say.
Calgary?
No, LA is 8-2-0 in their last 10.
Yeah. No, they're coming. They put Trevor Moore on the top line with Kopitar and Kempe too, so that kind of gives a little more balance through the lineup. And yeah, no, they're doing this without Doughty as well too.
So speaking
they're
of which,
playing really good.
Yeah, they're going to get him back, and they're going to have cap relief because of all the LTIR they've got. But speaking of that, Kopitar, 1,400 career games played. I mean, he was already going to the Hall of Fame, but he just keeps building that up. I think Mike let us know. That was Mike that sent us that in the chat. So thanks, Mike.
I know I just looked up the Brady Tkachuk rumors. Like 30 minutes ago it broke. He said it's just a rumor about the Rangers, and he's not bothered by it.
Yeah, the team addressed it. The Rangers said that it was not real. That Utah goal must have got wiped off the board.
Good.
Yeah, it looks
Minnesota
like they
to win that game.
Yeah, it looks like that Dylan Guenther must have been offsides. The worst fucking thing to ever happen to hockey, the offsides fucking review. And the goaltender interference, whatever they consider goaltender interference now, is not fucking goaltender interference. I saw Philly lose a goal where it was like it was like textbook screen. I was like, okay, we've jumped the fucking shark so bad. Yeah. So we still have a few live games. Kraken Panthers 2 periods ago. Blues Canucks Wild. And Utah are halfway through, 8 minutes left in the second. And we just are underway in the third with Edmonton and Tampa Bay. So we'll see how that goes. This is the Tampa Bay prime for coming back game. I haven't seen much from them, but I expect their depth to kind of take over, but we'll see. Edmonton does a great job of controlling the puck. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible, Avi. It's totally destroyed the spirit of the game. Your offsides this month, you're going to tell me it has anything to do with the goal being scored? It's a joke. It was not meant for that at all. So they need to get rid of it. And if it takes them more than 30 seconds to review something, it's not anything. It has to be clear and obvious. They need to rewrite the rules. Okay. Pasta's banged up. Any news there, Mike, for the Bostonian fans? What do you got there?
Unfortunately, he scored a goal tonight. I don't buy into. I don't think he's anything serious. He's probably out of game, if anything. But
no, they said he was playing, so I was just wondering. They said upper body, so he probably.
Yeah, so he scored tonight. I don't think he'll miss any time. Maybe a game at best. And the reason I say maybe a game is because I don't think they're trying to rush anyone back for an injury, just based off our record. So
yeah, but you're back in. You guys have played well under Sacco. What's your assessment? I know we're just going to go week to week with the Bruins. I mean, they obviously got destroyed today.
Yeah, I came home and turned it on. It was 6-1. I'm like, what? Oh, I didn't miss much tonight. But I mean, they've played great. But I mean, I feel like every team, when you get a new coach, they do something. So. Yeah, Avi, I'm with you.
Avi, for the people listening, Avi says Bruins just don't got good enough team. Pasta, if he's hurt, take some time off, please.
Yeah, it's not worth coming back. Like, this team is.
Avi wants James Higgins. he's seeing all that good Boston play, right?
Oh man, the Higgins-Leonard combo last night was something special.
Yeah, let's jump into that real quick before we'll jump into that. I mentioned Rantanen got a hat trick. He is now one behind Stastny, who did it with obviously the Quebec Nordiques for the franchise leader with 3 career hat tricks, which is low. Feels low to me for Rantanen, but anyway. I'm wondering if that's a season. I think he's had 3 this season anyway. Yeah, and then Ovi looks like he could be back at the 4-week mark, which would put him around the 18th of December. So 8 days, maybe we see Ovi back. Caps have long breaks, though. It's been really beneficial to them. They've had they play Thursday against the Blue Jackets, which again, no easy game there. The Blue Jackets have been playing pretty good, but so I don't anticipate he will be back. So tomorrow we have a huge slate of games to cover. So let's just jump into those right now. We have 2, the Rangers and Sabres and the Ducks and the Senators. I wouldn't touch either of these games, boys. I've liked what I've seen from the Ducks in games they've played. I sure as hell have not liked what I've seen from the Sabres and the Senators. But I don't know, man. The Rangers have looked really awful. This definitely feels like the Rangers lose this game to the Sabres at plus 120. How are you feeling? Go ahead, Pearlo. You started off.
Well, I mean, I can only take the Sabres. You just lost to Chicago. I mean, this team is like, what an absolute disaster.
I mean, they looked pretty good against Pittsburgh, but then to hear Mike Sullivan say he felt like it was the worst game Pittsburgh's played in weeks. But then I saw Pittsburgh get absolutely annihilated tonight. So, I mean, I just
Pittsburgh also played horrible against Florida and just happened to win it because Jari had an out-of-body experience too. So that was pretty bad.
But if they're getting good goaltending like that, Pearlo, that bodes well for Pittsburgh because they actually have good players on their team.
I wouldn't put money on Jari keeping that up, but I would take the over here, just simply because neither one of these teams can hold a lead. So if anybody scores, the next team will score. Blah blah blah, back and forth. And I'd probably look at the draw because, like I said, neither one of these teams can hold a lead. So if somebody scores,
just tied the game. Minnesota just tied the game.
Oh, thank God! Gosh.
So,
but anyways, yeah, I would take the over, and I would only play the Sabres. Rangers minus 142 on the road against any team right now. Are you freaking mad? Not a chance would I play that. Anyways, that's what I say about that.
Yeah, I don't disagree there. Pearlo, go ahead, Rico.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams are trending downward. Buffalo's lost 7 in a row. Darling will probably be back. Yeah, man, holy moly. Third game in 4 nights for the Rangers too. I mean, geez, take a pick here, man. I don't know.
I'd start doing an Adam Fox goal prop because he hasn't scored this year until he scores.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's no way you're gonna burn through Laviolette. He's only been there for a year and a half. Like, you got to get.
No, they're gonna make some more moves though. Larry Brooks today said there's no way they're done. Now they have all this cap room with Trouba being off. They got Anaheim to take the full contract. So I'm with you there, Mike. How you feeling here? You gonna touch this game? I don't blame you.
I've got a couple parlays for tomorrow, to be honest with you.
Well, go ahead and give them to us.
Yeah, I love both dogs. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. I think the Sabres end this dreadful 7-game losing streak. They're at home. I'm going to put them at +1.5, and I'm going to take them straight up just for fun.
Okay. And you want to just go ahead and Ducks Senators? You taking the Ducks?
Ducks. No, give me the Ducks again. Ducks +1.5. I'll put that in a parlay with Sabres 1.5, and then Ducks money line. I'll put that in a parlay with Sabres.
Yeah, Ducks are +200. Yeah, I thought the Ducks played a pretty good game against Montreal. They just didn't score. They got to get a little bit more from their young guys there. Troy Terry hit like 3 posts in that game. So that game could have easily went in the favor of the Ducks. I thought they were the better team, and they just didn't get the result. I think they lost in overtime or something. But Rico, you touching this Ducks Senators game?
I know Ottawa's like the team that goes win-loss, 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 win-loss. So they lost their last one. So I'll probably lean Ottawa here. Yeah, dude, you take your pick. This is another game. These are 2 tough ones, but might be a look-ahead spot because this is the front end of a back-to-back against the Leafs. The Ducks are going into Toronto the very next night too. So on one hand, you think they want to take care of business because Toronto's going to be a tougher matchup. So they might go hard in this game against Ottawa or know that they've got a game after this and you got to pack up. So they're kind of looking ahead to going to Toronto. So it might be a little bit of a non-eventful game or it'll be opened right up. I don't know, man. This is a tough game to call, but the Ducks are paying good. So why not go with them? I like Mike's thought, man. Why not just take a flyer on Anaheim, take a flyer on Buffalo? If you're scared a little bit, go +1.5 with each of those teams, and you'll still get decent odds. And hope Puckline Jesus doesn't come down from the heavens.
Pearlo, you touching this Ducks Senators game?
Well, the thing is, Ottawa beats bad teams. They don't beat good teams. They beat Nashville. They beat Detroit. They beat San Jose. They beat Calgary, but they lose to Vancouver, Vegas, Edmonton. You know, like if it's a good team, they pretty much lose to them. So, I mean, I suppose Ottawa probably wins this game, but -250, not a freaking chance. Am I touching that? Yeah, give me Anaheim. Yeah. Give me Anaheim in the draw. Maybe Anaheim can pull out. Maybe they can both pull out 1 point because they're in different conferences. So Ottawa needs a point to keep on getting points right now, and Anaheim probably would be happy with the draw. So I'll say Anaheim in the draw. I probably won't touch it.
Yeah, I just feel like Anaheim. They're missing Leo Carlson, Trevor Zegras, Robbie Fadry, Brock McGinn, but they might have one of the best platoons of goalies in Dostal and Gibson. And right there, that's the difference. Carlson not being in for them. I wonder if that gives them a couple more wins. That kid's pretty special. So, and then you got him up on the top line, Okay, well, so tomorrow we have 14 we'll have 14 games to preview. Sorry, Thursday. Tomorrow night we'll have 14 to preview for Thursday. So just some marquee matchups in that game. Kings Devils in New Jersey. That's going to be an interesting one. Jets hosting the Golden Knights. Oilers Wild. That'll be a pretty interesting game. Wild is up 2-1 now, by the way. So
Nice.
if you had the Wild tonight, they have gotten Kirill Kaprizov has gotten his 18th. So, all right, Mike, let's talk a little bit about the college hockey, man, which we'll be talking Friday for sure. But what'd you see? What'd you like?
They released the Hobey Baker finalists. It's the first list of the season. And for those that don't know, that's equivalent to the Heisman for college football. Leading the way, Ryan Leonard, right wing, Boston College. Second in the running is Pearlo, left wing, same line, Boston College. Third in the running is Higgins, which is the center of Boston College. Yes, the BC's top line has all three front runners.
Is it going to be a major disappointment again if BC doesn't win at all?
I don't know, because their top six is elite.
Yeah.
Their bottom six isn't. But I mean, Fowler looks great. They have six. They can roll three pairs of defensemen. So it's an advantage. I think you can skate 12. But last night, that top line was putting on a show. It was an absolute clinic. So I'd be very excited, Capitals fans. I forget who drafted Perot, but
New York Rangers.
Yeah. Rangers fans, be very excited as well. And whoever wins the lottery this year, congratulations on Higgins. You've picked up basically a bigger, stronger Celebrini. By the way,
not a guarantee he goes number one, from what I've been told, but he's going to be top two.
I'd be shocked if someone passes on us because you don't want to send him in.
No, the problem is that Porter Mortone kid is going off.
Yeah, they got some guys in the OHL that are playing really well too.
He is going off, and he's big, 6'3", 207.
I'd rather
going off. So
it's gonna. But you'd rather have the bigger guy.
I'm always going to side. I'd rather the bigger player.
Can't coach size, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
bigger player is Porter Martoni.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I'm taking the bigger guy.
That's what we're saying, Pearlo. Higgins was kind of considered number one preseason, but we think that it's going to be one of those two guys, obviously, in the top. I think it's just really going to matter on what the team is looking for. Chicago, you're gonna want a guy that plays up the middle that probably can skate and take pressure off Connor Bedard. I'm assuming, especially if they're going to continue to play Bedard. So just real quick, McKinnon with the 5-point night is 3 points ahead of everybody now. Obviously, Kaprizov got a point, so he's right there. Reinhart and Draisaitl both have. I think did Draisaitl get a goal tonight, so he's leading the NHL in goals. Philip Gustafson leads the NHL in goals against, 199 and save percentage. Right behind him is Rico's guy Anthony Stolars, and two guys. Sam Montembeault, by the way, with 3 shutouts, and so same with Connor Hellebuyck, both going to represent their teams at the thing. Cale Makar leads defenseman in points. Big shock there. He leads. He's tied with Werenski in goals and has the most assists. Mishkov running away with the rookie of the year right now as far as points. 27 points. Had an assist tonight, I think, or a couple points tonight. He obviously leads in goals, 11. Celebrini not far behind though in goals. He has 8. And Celebrini's played a lot less. But that Lane Hudson kid can pass the puck. I'm looking forward to his brother being on the Caps too. He's going to be a nice player. Okay, well, I don't have anything else. I feel like that's the show. You guys got anything? You got any alibis you want to talk about, or we call it an evening?
Someone tell Boston to start losing. We don't want a playoffs bid. We need a better draft pick.
I can't believe the resurgence by Winnipeg in the third period. Like Swayman got shelled for 8. It's not like they spread those goals out. They just pumped 5 in on them in the third period. Like that was just nuts, man. And like the guy's over 3 goals against average now. Holy moly.
I mean, Kyle Connor is going to have 40 goals again this year. Nobody's going to talk about it. You know, he's right now tied for 8th with Ovechkin, Konechny, Panarin, which is sad because Ovi was on fucking fire when he got hurt. So he's only got 27 to go, boys. I still think he could do it.
Yeah.
He better do it.
I mean, he'll definitely do it next year for sure. But, I mean, I think he can get 27 more standing on his head this year. Just the way he was shooting the puck. So, yeah. And the Caps are playing good hockey, too, which is nice. It's kind of a surprise. Go figure if you actually follow the team. Their ECHL teams in first place, their AHL teams in first place, and defending back-to-back Calder Cup champions. And their NHL teams in first place.
And no players in the 4 nations. One of only, I think, a couple teams in the NHL?
Only 2 teams in the NHL that didn't have anybody in the 4 nations.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? I'm A-okay with.
Absolutely.
Because this bullshit best on best, it's not best on best, boys. We don't have Russia. We don't have Czechia. We don't have Germany. I mean, you could argue the second best player in NHL is German. And Leon Draisaitl, so...
And you could argue the top 3 best player is Russian too. So, I mean,
no, that's what I'm saying. It's not best on best. It's bullshit on bullshit is what it is. I hope no one's hurt.
It's
I
a
hope we don't
stupid idea. It's ridiculous. It's a waste of. The players already have a hard enough time with the scheduling as it is. It's an absolute.
Here's why I don't mind it, because next year they are going to take the Olympic break and they are going to play in the Olympics. But the Olympics isn't going to be selective with 4 teams. It's going to be everybody.
Well, I don't mind if it's the Olympics, but for this bullshit, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with the international break kind of being scheduled into the season and that we're just sort of used to it. But, it's not best on best. It's just not. So, I mean, you can make the argument that Russia has the 3 best goalies in the NHL right now. Shesterkin, Sorokin, Vasilevsky. I mean, can you imagine that platoon of goalies? And I know Russia doesn't have the defensemen, maybe like they don't have the guys in the past, but yeah, just, to me, and I mean, I'm saying like even Ovechkin probably doesn't play for Russia. So like he's not one of the best guys in the league anymore.
He was on the, they had him at 3rd line for like if Russia was in the 4 nations.
But like Kaprizov was leading the NHL in points. Kucherov, ridiculous. I mean, there's a few guys there, that would make a difference. So, all right, boys, we'll see you tomorrow. Would you guys be okay with the 10 o'clock start time just because we'll only have the 2 games and then we have 14 to.
Yeah, I prefer it actually. Yeah.
Well, 10:30 works really good for me, Pearlo. So, because that's
okay.
Early.
I'm just saying I would prefer tomorrow.
But tomorrow 10, we'll go 10. We'll go 10 because we have 14 games to preview. So, and we only have 2 games on the slate. If there was a lot of games, I wouldn't want to have an early show. So, but I could squeeze in watching the end of that game while the show starts. So tomorrow we'll do 10 Eastern. Mike, I expect you won't be with us, but Rico and Pearlo. Rico, is tomorrow a day off for you?
Yeah.
We'll enjoy it, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 o'clock, special time. Peace.